Hi everyone, it's Danny here and I'm back with another design team layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfiles shop, and I am using this gorgeous Polaroid photo frame stack today. I really love this cut file. I have had it for a little while and I've been trying to think about how I would use it, and I thought the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection was perfect to back all those beautiful little Polaroid shapes. So I've done that off camera. As you can see, I've used the 6x8 inch paper pad. I used a bunch of different colors and I pulled out this paper for the background. I had it upside down and I went to turn it right way up, but I really like it upside down because it has the green at the bottom, kind of like grass, and the blue at the top, kind of like sky. So I'm using this photo of my little man. Oh gosh, he's just so cute in this photo. I love it. We were at a wedding and he is dressed up in this gorgeous little vest and bow tie, and I love that outfit so much. So I'm going ahead and I've trimmed the photo down and I'm going to back it with a couple of different layers of paper. These are both from the 6x8 paper pad still, and I'm using that pink. I have no problem using pink on boy layouts. So you can see I'm piecing it together there. It wasn't quite big enough, but you can't see the join at all, so don't be scared to do that. And then I'm going to pull out the navy. I absolutely love the navy paper in this collection. It's so beautiful. It's really deep. It's almost black, but it has these little dashes on it. It's just so pretty. I love it. So I'm going to use that as my second layer. I think it just really sets off the photo, draws your attention in. It's a similar sort of color to his little suit, and against that pink it just really pops. Just trimming a very thin layer. I don't want it to be too in your face because the rest of the layout is quite light and colourful. So he fits perfectly in that little spot there. Okay, so now I'm going through. I've got some acetate. I've got a tiny piece of acetate that I'm trying to stretch so that I don't have to go cut into a new piece, and I managed to make it work. I'm going to make some shaker pockets, of course. This is the perfect cut file to do that with. So I'm going to do 3 shaker pockets out of these little windows in the photo frames. So I'm just putting a thin layer of glue all the way around my little window and then gluing the acetate down. And I do that with that one. I do this top one, and then I do another one to the left as we're looking at it now, but when I flip it over it'll be to the right. There we go. Bit of adhesive foam. This is single-sided adhesive. This is your best friend when you're making shaker pockets. So I'm just cutting a fairly thin strip. I don't have to go too thin because this cut file is great in that it doesn't have skinny bits really. It's quite chunky once you've backed in those photos. And then so I skipped 2, I didn't show you all that. The main thing you want to do when you're doing little shaker pockets, if you don't know already, is just to make sure that you run that foam all the way around and don't leave any gaps, because then of course your sequins would fall out. So I've added some foam to the back of my photo as well. And now I'm going to do a trick I learned from my friend Miranda Weber, who's also on the design team. She's really clever. She inks her foam when she's making shaker pockets so that when she goes to fill it with sequins, it shows where you're supposed to fill them. Now I've used a distress ink, and in hindsight I should have used like a distress oxide or something like that, a wetter ink. I don't actually own any distress oxides, but the distress inks are a dye ink, so it dried pretty quickly, and yeah, it didn't leave a very good impression. You can see it's pretty patchy, but it was fine. It worked exactly for what I needed it to do, and I just went in with my pencil there and sort of darkened up the lines where they were a little bit faint. Really clever idea. Thank you so much, Miranda. Makes your life so much easier when you're doing shaker pockets. So you can see my gigantic tub of sequins there. I'm going to make myself a little sequin mix. So yeah, I just sort of keep my sequins sorted by colour, and I make little mixes as I need them. So I'm going to use a light pink, a light blue, a light purple. This is a bit of a darker teal colour. I think I use some gold stars. Yep, some little gold stars. I'll also go in with some little white flower sequins. Oh, these are so pretty. I love them. And Then I'll go in with a few little teeny tiny ones. So I have a little packet of, there we go, little hearts. They're teeny tiny, more like confetti than sequins. I really like to fill my shaker pockets so they're really full. And then I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going all the way over. You can see I added foam to all the rest of my cut file as well. But I'm being really careful to go all the way around those edges where my shaker pocket is going to be. So you need to make sure there's glue all the way around the edge. Otherwise, again, your sequins are going to fall out. So I'm giving that a good squish down, making sure it sticks. And I do use tacky glue so it dries pretty quickly. If you just use a white craft glue, you might want to put something heavy on the top to make sure it really sticks down and your sequins don't fall out. So you saw me there with the ephemera packet. What I have here is not the ephemera, it's actually all the sort of cut aparts from this collection. So I've cut apart one of the 12x12s and one of the 6x8s and all the little labels and bits and pieces. So I'm going to play with these. I struggle a bit with this. I pretty much always struggle with my embellishments, so I have quite a bit of trouble, and then you will see I come back the next day because it's daylight and better lighting. So I have that yeah card to the left, to the right of my photo, but it doesn't stay there. I'm going to move it. I'm going through the title words. I pull out the U. That's pretty much all I'm going to use from that packet. Taking these thickers. I think these are a pink paisley thickers from one of their collections, but I picked them up when I picked up this collection because I really liked how they went together. The colours match nicely. So I'm going to spell out picture or perfect. Perfect. So my title is going to be Picture Perfect You, which I think is just perfect for perfect. Get it? Perfect for this cut file because it's all little photos and pictures. So there we go. I've spelt that out. I've just got it on a bit of wax paper before I decide where I'm going to stick it, but it does pretty much go there. So here I'm deciding to commit. I'm going to glue that down. I will whiz through this so you don't have to agonize over watching me put down each letter. Then I'm going to take my little alphas. These are teeny tiny little like typeface alphas from Kaisercraft, and I'm going to use those to spell out picture. And I'm just being careful how I place them. I didn't really want to use foam to pop those up, but I do think I had to put some behind the P. But it worked out fine. So here we go, messing around again. Yep, struggling. So I decided to stick down my photo because that's not going anywhere. And I find when I'm having trouble with embellishing, if I just stick down stuff I know is not going to move, then that just gives me something to do while I'm thinking about it. So I really love this little wreath journaling spot. It's got some faint lines inside the wreath, which is perfect for a journaling spot. I'm just having trouble with it, and you'll see why in a minute. It does make it on the layout. So I put a little flare button there. I'm going to fill all these little windows in with the bits and pieces. I love that little flare button. Just playing with the ephemera. I've cut a lot of this out, but I have left a lot in of me sort of struggling. I've spoken about this before, how I struggle with embellishment, which I'm really jealous of Virginia, who is just the embellishment queen. So she owns the cut file shop that this cut file comes from. So if you haven't checked out her channel already, I definitely recommend it because she is super, super talented. Mucking around with these embellishments still. Oh, gosh, it's agony to watch, isn't it? But that little butterfly makes it in, that little flower and that little heart. Oh, I love this finished layout. I so love it. It's one of my favorites ever. That little leaf and that flower, I pop those in. I really like those there, and that's when I sort of start to, it starts to come together from here. So I realise that journaling spot is bothering me because there's so much white space around the outside of the wreath. So I snip that off, and once I've done that, it is just going to snuggle in just beautifully in that little spot. The shape echoes the shape in the cut file, and it just fits in there beautifully. So really, really happy with that. This little banner, another little leaf in there. I found this little flower and he's just super cute, so I just tucked those in with a leaf on the other side of the photo. Put in this little love heart banner, another little phrase banner. So I end up with 3 of those in total. I like that little ticket, so I'm going to put that there, and then I'm just going to pull in one of these blank labels. These are a Caitlin Schaefer free printable. If you Google her website, you should be able to find them. She's got heaps of different colours. I love them. I am going to write my date up there. I don't do it on camera, and I forget to do it before I take photos of the layouts, but it is on there in the end, I promise. I put in a little sticker banner in the top of that little pink frame there, and now I'm pulling in some enameled dots. I just have a few kind of awkward spaces that I want to fill in with a little sprinkly bit, and these enamel dots are perfect. I use the turquoise and the hot pink in 3 different places. There we go. And then I am really, really happy with how this has all come together, so I'm going to glue all my bits and pieces down. Oh, so cute. I love that little man. He's 5 now. Can't believe how quickly the time goes. So I'm putting in my journaling. I am writing in, I think it says Corin, all dressed up and looking adorable, something like that. Something along those lines anyway. And that just fits in there perfectly. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I can't say that enough. One of my favourite layouts ever, probably. Okay, and for a finishing touch, some splatters. White splatters, I'm just watering down some white acrylic paint, and I'm using a thin paintbrush to do little teeny tiny splatters all the way around the layout. The white really pops on that background. And then some gold Kaiser mist as well. Always got to have some gold on there. And I have some gold in those shaker pockets as well, so the gold helps tie that in. Now, the very last thing I'm going to add is some sequins, of course. So I'm going to take these light blue ones and I'm just going to pop these in all the little different spaces where I don't have anything. So I'm just tucking them all around the edges of the cut files. Some are going to go inside the frame, some are going to go around the outside of the frames, but all of them are going to tuck underneath a little bit, so they're not super in your face, they're just a little bit of shiny sparkly goodness peeking out. Once I've done that, I'm going to go in with the that little glass bottle is full of tiny little white hearts, and they're white, but they're iridescent. So when you turn the page or it catches the light a certain way, they look blue or pink. They're super, super pretty, but they're super, super tiny. So I'm just going to sprinkle them around. They're really quite subtle, but they just add that beautiful little sparkly touch. I'm just going to pop them in little groups of 3 all around the layout, and they almost blend into the white splatters, but if you're looking closely you can really see them, and they're super pretty. Love how this layout turned out. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to check out the Cutfiles shop. There are so many beautiful, beautiful designs in there at the moment. New ones going up all the time. You will definitely want to check it out. Close-ups are coming up. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.